Reddit title reads Red Flag for My First Date? Question mark. Now, as you can see, Battlefield 6 is finally out. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm disappointed by the maps. I'm disappointed by the lack of content, but it feels good, feels fresh. So I'll be using some Battlefield 6 content for my videos. But on to the post itself. It says, Hi everyone. I'm looking for some advice because I'm starting to question whether I should keep pursuing this guy. We recently went on a date, and during our conversation, he mentioned that he's been sober from drinking for a few years. I assumed that it was just a personal choice, not something related to addiction. Now, I'm trying to think if I heard a girl say that she's been sober for a few years, would that be a red flag or not? I'll be honest, that would be a red flag for me. I don't want to date a girl who has possible issues with addiction. That's not just addiction to alcohol, of course, drugs are bad as well, but also just have an addictive personality in general. Is she addicted to her phone? Is she addicted to shopping? Is she addicted to attention from other people and validation? Just an addictive personality is probably one of the traits I despise the most. I want her to be addicted to me, but any other addictions, I'm a bit more concerned about. Now, from a girl's point of view, when she hears a guy maybe having issues with alcohol in the past, I think she would be feeling quite threatened by that. Maybe the guy had some alcohol tendencies and could become quite aggressive. Maybe also when it comes to having alcohol problems, she might be thinking maybe this guy can't provide for me in the future because he can't hold down a job due to always being drunk. So I completely understand from a girl's point of view why that would be a red flag or an avoid. But at the same time, if he's been sober for many years, it shows he has quite a lot of resilience. And I think someone who has become sober is more likely to stay sober than someone who just drinks on the weekends and maybe one or two times during the week. So I think it shows a lot of resilience and self development and self help if they have now become sober. So possibly that is a green flag. Maybe she's thinking it's a red flag though by her title. She continues to say, a few years later, while we were talking on the phone, he mentioned going to an AA meeting. So it sounds like he's trying really hard to stay sober. So I think that's a positive thing. I didn't say anything in the moment, but it made me stop and think. Now, to be honest, if I was the guy, I wouldn't be bringing this up. I wouldn't be bringing this up until the exclusivity talk, because I feel like if she was to become exclusive with you, that's when you need to open up and be honest about your past, especially when it comes to possible drinking issues. But I wouldn't be bringing this up on the first date or the first few dates. So it's a bit of him dropping the ball here, because I'm sure this girl has lots of skeletons in her closet that maybe makes her feel uncomfortable about her past, that she's not opening up about that to you. So I'd keep these conversations to yourself because I don't think it's the right time right now. I didn't say anything in the moment, but it made me stop and think. He also told me he drank at a baby shower a few months ago and regretted it. It even asked if he got really drunk, and he said no, but I'm not sure how to feel about it. Uh, yeah, you can drink at a baby shower. There's going to be prosecco and champagne there, and maybe some bottles of beer. But yeah, if you got drunk at a baby shower, that's a massive red flag. But he said he didn't, so we'll trust him. She said, I don't drink either, but I'm nervous about the possibility of him relapsing or turning to someone I might not want to be around. That's completely valid, especially if you were someone who maybe grew up and your parents drunk, maybe your dad drunk, and they got aggressive or they weren't nice to be around. Completely valid to be like, I don't want to involve myself with anyone who has possible poor alcohol tendencies. It's still very early, just one day and a few phone calls, but I can't tell if this should be a deal breaker or I'm overthinking. Has anyone been in a similar situation? Could this turn out fine, or am I just making assumptions and stereotyping? We all stereotype, it's completely valid. We don't need to go down this moral route. This is your life at the end of the day, and if you bring someone into your life who could possibly throw the table upside down and change your life for the worse, then stereotype away. Honestly, you want to make sure you're safe, you make the right decision, and stereotyping is a good way to make good decisions. For example, I'd never date a stripper or a prostitute. And again, maybe I'm making assumptions or stereotyping, but that's my boundary because I don't want to bring those people into my life because I think the negative consequences are going to outweigh the positive consequences. Does it make me a bad person? Maybe. Does it make me stereotyping? Maybe, but that's just how it is. But something that kind of stuck out to me, didn't he say he was sober for many years, but then said he drunk at a baby shower? So there's different context there, or maybe he's just getting confused here, but she seems to have just glossed over that. So from my point of view, it sounds like he possibly is lying about how long he's been sober for. So for me, that would be the main red flag, is that not because he's now sober. I think that's possibly more of a green flag to show some self-development. But the red flag for me is it sounds like he's getting his information wrong, or he's just a straight out liar. And you don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's lying or dating someone who's lying, especially about something so big as that. So for me, my conclusion is stereotype away, but also be aware this guy could be lying about how long he's been sober for. And for me, that's enough of a red flag to stop dating this man. Anyway, that's all, guys. Cheers. See ya.